Hi, good afternoon, everyone, fellow citizens, PRs, and some illegals in the crowd. I'm happy to be here. When they asked me to come and speak, I'm from the boom generation. My 1966 cohort set a world record in Kandang Kerbau Hospital. So we grew up learning that the planet supports us in food and medicine and air, and mostly from the region. We got a good reminder about that recently during the haze. So as a city, we owe a lot to everyone who's protecting the forest ecosystems around the world. And we should do the same here in Singapore. Now, in Singapore, we have tried. We do know we need to demonstrate our part. So we have a city in the garden. We have about 45% natural green cover. It's pretty good. We have 4.5 nature reserves. 4.5% of our land is nature reserves. A further 4.5% supporting it. So that sounded pretty good to my generation that suffered catastrophic loss. Not bad, we thought. But we continue to grow. So that 45%, some of it is disappearing even now as we sit here and think about climate change. The forest fragments that are left are not going to survive without our help. For their resilience, we need that in every development, leave as much of the forest behind as you can. Do not have a scorched earth policy, plant buildings, and then import landscape to do some gardening. Now, the second thing, we cannot behave as if we were in a post-independent world. A plot of land given to me is not for me to saturate with concrete, glass, and steel. We need to think about connectivity. Connectivity because all of our forest patches are too small. They are not going to survive without connections between them. But if I believe this patch is mine to build, to do so in independence of everything else that is happening, this is not acceptable today. Now the third thing, the land I am developing may have been zoned for residence or industry. I will have to come in and remove some green cover. It doesn't mean I cannot compensate for this loss. So we should make it prerequisite that for the loss I incur and the loss to land cover today, I must be required to provide compensatory planting. So we have these three demands, right? To preserve as much as we can, to connect the tiny fragments which won't survive on their own, and compensation for the loss that we inflict today. This is not what I see at meetings I'm called up to. At the 11th hour of a development, we enter negotiations and we argue and wrestle for mitigation to be inserted into plans which are already 90% ready. This is not the hallmark of excellent Singapore. We need to be integrating this at the start of development. And you can see this by the seniority of the ecologists on the team. Is this a junior, just graduated student who tries to chip in at meeting with heavyweights from every other division? We see this in the management of our current reserves. Is it a few staff that are wrestling to handle a very large area? These are clear indications of whether we are serious about the resilience of our forests in order to survive this climate crisis that's upon us. So I say to the youth who organized the meeting today, I agree that we needed a kick in the butt to think about trying harder. And so I stand before you as my witness, but I speak to government, we can do better. and we can do better now. So with your help and support, we are not handing over a problem to government. We are keen and eager to work together to do much better, because we've suffered too much loss and we are seeing the impacts today. How we progress as a nation is going to add one more element into that report card. How do we take care of our biodiversity for the children of tomorrow? Thank you.